welcome to Back Issues Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
So we're going to be talking about a Venom book because, okay, there is a Venom movie that is shot, I think, or at the very least,
Like a
it
Venom
is under.
sequel?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's called Venom. Let There Be Carnage. It's one of the worst titles I've ever heard in my life.
That's terrible.
You have absolute carnage right there,
Right,
or
just-
maximum carnage right there.
Yeah, either one.
And Sony's like, let's get creative. It's the
Well,
worst
we already
thing they
did
could
that.
do. Yeah.
We got to do something new.
No, they did that. You get to do that. You want Venom, but you also want to, like, pretend that you have ideas. You don't.
Hey,
Just
Venom.
stop.
Venom's an idea.
We've seen these characters before. It's called Venom Separation Anxiety. It is more or less a sequel to Venom Lethal Protector, which of course debuted the 5 symbiotes.
Yeah.
Right.
Our favorite characters.
Yeah.
Like Agony and Scream,
Lasher.
Lasher, Phage,
And
Riot.
there we go.
Yeah.
I can remember Lasher. and
How
that
could you
was it.
not remember all 5 of those names? They're classic characters. They were destroyed in Lethal Protector. Venom hit them with like a beam that disintegrated their symbiotes. And
It didn't take.
it didn't take. That's it. That's like as much explanation as they offer. It's written by the guy who like helped invent Danny Ketch, so yeah, that's as much effort as you're gonna see
Right.
into this. But Lethal Protector, of course, was Venom's first solo series, and of course would spin out into 1,000 different Venom solo series, each one being a mini-series that like encompasses Eddie Brock's life, usually as like a cave-dwelling homeless person. But
Hey, I like Eddie Brock Cave Dweller.
you do?
Yeah.
That's your favorite status quo for Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Cave dweller.
Yeah.
I live in the underground. I don't go above much.
No, he's like a marshal for like a forgotten society.
He just
of
knows that,
people.
like, he can't trust himself or Venom up atop world. At least underground, like, rules are different.
That's true, yeah. What happens underground stays underground, particularly when Venom's involved. No, Venom's always going up top to be Venom.
I mean, you could imagine that, like, in between the adventures that you see in the comics, he's just chilling underground.
I would hope.
And that's why it's not like a problem.
I sincerely hope so, because Brock really needs to take a chill pill once in a while, particularly during this era. Now, of course, we've delved into Venom stories that cover Venom, I don't know, fighting Spider-Man, being friends with Spider-Man, reluctantly teaming up with Spider-Man, and then fighting him later. At this point
mostly
in
Spider-Man
chronology,
focused.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Although I will say that it was very on brand for the Venom miniseries to be Venom-centric. Spider-Man was
Well,
there
yeah.
in Lethal Protector to see him off.
Right,
You're now an anti-hero. Enjoy your adventures.
Right.
Yeah, you can do
Over
it
on
on
the other
your
side
own.
of the country.
Yeah. San Francisco, go fight Juggernaut.
As long as I don't have to see it, I'm not going to stop you.
That's right. Well, remember, they made a pact
Right.
at the end of Spider-Man 375 in which the deal was, don't come after me, I won't come after you. Live and let live.
Right.
Yeah, more like live and let die.
As long as it goes. But then Spider-Man went to San Francisco, was like, why did I make that deal?
I'm breaking the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't go out to San Francisco to, like, stop Venom,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. No,
Just-
he just didn't trust himself, so he just got on a plane immediately after he made the deal and went to San Francisco to deal
Oh,
with
I thought
Venom.
it was something else, like
No.
the Bugle sent him out.
Yeah, no, usually
he
that
was
makes
like
sense.
talking to himself, and he was like, "Why would I do that? That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
Why did I make that deal?"
Yep. And the reason is because he was bound by unseen forces called editorial to let Venom be an anti-hero instead of just a
Right.
Spider-Man villain. He's making too much moolah.
I gotta say, the covers are amazing because you have the first one that's
Embossed.
embossed, and it does a good job of making Eddie Brock look like a monster.
Sure.
Because he's freaking terrified. His eyes are sunken in. It's great.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, let's not do that for the rest of the series.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Well, we only needed to get you for the first issue. That's why we put all the bells and whistles on the front cover of the first issue.
At least there's not like foil crap.
There's always a gimmick, though.
Yeah.
Because
I'll
Venom,
take embossed. That's somewhat subtle.
I agree. And you had the added bonus of if you just bring it to any craft store, get a piece of paper and a pencil.
Oh, yeah.
You could do a rubbing
Yeah.
and recreate the cover. Usually it's Venom carrying on, we were innocent once until that accursed Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
At this point, Venom, unbeknownst to himself, is neck deep in the Clone Saga.
Oh, what?
Ben Reilly's on the
no.
scene. He's the Scarlet Spider, and Venom is reeling from an encounter with Ben Reilly. At this point in the Clone Saga, Ben Reilly has not become the one true Spider-Man yet. He has not come up with his new sensational costume. He's still got the hoodie with the torn sleeves.
Yeah.
Oh, I look so cool, like I came from the gym.
He's totally ripped. He essentially fights Venom. Editorial, yet again, is like, let's get our mandate out there through story. And their mandate is, don't you think Peter Parker sucks? Don't you want to see him
Don't you want to
replaced
change
with
everything?
literally everything?
Should we have Venom fight Ben Reilly instead?
Yeah, and why don't we justify it by having Ben Reilly, who's kind of like de facto Spider-Man right now, find out about Venom and go, this guy's got to be stopped.
Right, just like Spider-Man.
Yes.
Well, also,
And he's
just
better
like,
than Spider-Man because Spider-Man gave up.
Yeah,
And made a
exactly.
deal
And
to
that's
go
the
away. And, he's the true Spider-Man because he's gonna fight
won't quit.
Venom again.
Yes, because Ben Reilly will face Venom, and Venom's like, what are you doing? Spider-Man and I made a deal.
Right.
And Ben Reilly's like, I refuse to believe that Peter Parker would make a deal with this monster. That actually, Peter Parker making that deal with Venom,
means that he's Ben Reilly and I'm Peter Parker.
it just means that he's not worthy enough to be
less
Spider-Man.
than,
He's
yeah.
lesser than Ben Reilly. Ben Reilly is true Peter Parker.
Right. He is uncorruptible.
Yes. So Ben Reilly fights Venom, defeats him, separates him from the symbiote, and then hands Eddie Brock over to what he thinks is the authorities. We got to
what?
nerf Venom to show how great Ben Reilly is.
Yeah.
But it's not the authorities he hands him over to?
No. Well, kinda. It's also it's a government-sponsored organization, not unlike the Life Foundation, but not the Life Foundation, that wants to study Venom and the symbiote. And,
Right. Make it into a weapon or
Sure.
whatever.
Whatever xenomorph alien plot you want to come up with is exactly what they're coming up with here. But yeah, so they got Eddie Brock and the symbiote separated, despite the fact that they had been permanently bonded all the way back
Wouldn't
in
he
the Todd
die
McFarlane
if
Michelini
they were
Spider-Man era.
separated?
Yes.
Okay.
But they've separated them so goddamn much since they established that they
Yeah,
can't
it's
be
like, oh, never
separated.
mind.
Screw it. You separate them every other day. So
Well, I'm building his tolerance.
sure. Eddie is under lock and key,
Right.
and he's got all these armed soldiers, and they're transporting him to a secret government facility. Brock has this terrible-looking green jumpsuit he will wear throughout the entire series.
Well, we're used to seeing him in a monochromatic color anyway.
That's true. Yeah, got to keep that
Yeah,
branding
it's
up.
got to be one color.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
one
otherwise
suit
he'd
could
be
many
naked.
different colors, but not more than one at a time.
Yeah, but like
true.
pants and shirts, I say nay.
No, just one unified front. In a secret government laboratory in the Adirondack Mountains, they've got the symbiote and they've got Brock, and they're doing all their experiments on him. The symbiote is suffering from separation anxiety.
Right.
It's really sad. It wants to get back with Venom,
Right.
or Eddie, and become Venom.
And not be tortured in this vat or whatever they're putting it in.
Yeah.
What are they doing to it?
Well, right now they seem to be inundating it in green flame.
Okay.
But supposedly they're there to study it and learn more about
Yeah.
it.
Maybe it's gas.
By burning it. Or gassing it.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's like a containment chamber or something. I mean, it is weak to fire.
It is weak to fire, but I don't know about green fire.
Well, we're just adding a little copper to it.
That looks a little cool. Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks cooler that way.
It looks sciencey this way.
But so we meet Dr. Zwirling. Dr. Zwirling is in charge of this project. He is wholly irrelevant, means nothing to the story. But for whatever reason, they created this character and they named him, so here he is. So the whole first story is basically Brock has been separated from the symbiote for the longest amount of time since before he met the symbiote.
Okay.
Right? And so now that he's had like a minute alone
reflect.
to reflect, he's like at
Jeez.
first he wants to free himself. And
This is nice.
no, it's interesting.
I can be alone with my thoughts for a goddamn second.
Yeah, no one's judging me. Least of all,
Tell me to eat brains.
That's true. Well, that is the dilemma, because he frees himself immediately from like very heavy, durable-looking metal electronic bondage, and everyone who's it's overkill throughout. Like all these like crazy Boba Fett-looking guards have all these huge Doom-looking weapons trained on him, like 1,000 soldiers. He's like, I don't have my symbiote. I'm just a dude.
I don't know what you're expecting of me.
Right, but they're still afraid of me.
Right.
And so then, because he's so desperate to get back to the symbiote, he manages to break free, kind of justifying their fears. And then, of course, they kick the shit out of him and they put him back under glass.
Hey, did you see Arnold burst out in,
Total Recall? Yeah. Unfortunately, Eddie does not pull a metal pilar out and then gouge it through a man's throat or eye. It's kind of a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But again, you know what it is? It's that Comics Code Authority. If only! Now that we've gotten rid of it, I have yet to see anything even like that in a Marvel comic.
Right.
Maximum Carnage would have been true Maximum Carnage if it didn't have that pesky Comics Code Authority label.
Right. But you can see blood at least.
You can see
blood.
blood.
It can be red.
It can be red, not black.
Right.
Like in the Death of Superman.
So we're getting there.
Green.
Yeah, we're making progress.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's this like implication that Brock has superhuman strength.
Right.
And it's kind of
somehow.
like, how did he have that?
Some piece of Venom
imprinted onto him. Perhaps there's like a piece of him, like a codex within him.
There we go.
They don't bring it up and it's not addressed.
Right.
Maybe it's just the fact that since he's been Venom so much, like, no, he's still getting exercise in the suit.
Well, that's the thing that they established when he first became Venom was, the suit augments whatever you have already. So, Spider-Man had superhuman strength. The symbiote didn't really like add or subtract. It was just kind of there. When Brock had the suit, I'm still only as strong as I am. The suit just makes me look like Venom and give me webbing. That's kind of it. Right. So he had to work out, and that's why he was like so jacked, because he's like, you don't get, like, I don't get my muscle from you. Later on, of course, they'll change that up where it was actually like an energy vampire and it was like sapping his own strength and like.
So he had to work out.
He had to work out. Yeah, exactly. But originally
it's
he just
unnecessarily
had to,
complicated.
Agreed. It'll get more unnecessarily complicated when like that codex thing I brought up actually is a thing later on. But it'll take about 20 years to get there. Brock wants to get to the symbiote. He can't. They squash him back, and that's when he's finally able to reflect. And he's thinking about like his life and his decisions, and he's wondering like,
what am I doing, man?
He's wondering basically, are my actions the result of the symbiote telling me what to do, or is it a mutual thing?
Yeah, like, am I really okay with doing these things, and I just kind of use the symbiote as an excuse?
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Symbiote
Exactly.
gives me like permission.
Yes. And
Maybe.
So he's kind of like, now that I'm purged of the symbiote, and I have a minute to myself, like, what do I want to do? Did I want to kill all those guards in the pursuit of Spider-Man? Did I want to kill Spider-Man that badly?
Spider-Man. I said it 1,000 times.
Right, but only when I was wearing the symbiote.
Right.
So
what does Eddie Brock want?
Exactly. So unfortunately, Eddie doesn't have much time to think about it because all of the original members of the Life Foundation who were hosts for the 5 symbiotes that were the last sons of Venom arrive at this secret facility and slaughter the guards, impersonate them, break into the facility, and try to free Brock.
Were they called there because
Venom was separate? No, that's later. Because this whole story will springboard a comic book event that will span all of the Spider titles called Planet of the Symbiotes, in which they say it emits a silent scream, but then later in Planet of the Symbiotes, it'll happen again. Because, like, obviously...
What's a silent scream?
Like a telepathic call for help.
Yeah, like the kind of scream you can't hear with human ears.
It's a dog whistle.
It's a dog whistle.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So it's not really silent, it's just inaudible to humans.
Exactly.
Hypersonic.
But if you see the cover for issue 4, you know they get back together.
Yeah.
But...
Right.
When they do, Venom is kind of changed.
They couldn't stay away.
No, and Brock is kind of in a different place than he was when he started, which is actually kind of interesting and part of the hero's journey. He didn't call Brock a hero, which I don't. The 5 symbiotes go in, they're trying to free Brock, and Brock's like, what are you doing?
Get out of here.
Get out of here. You guys are evil, and I must murder you. And they're like, whoa. Because immediately, Brock's like, Brock, we're here to free you. I gotta slaughter all of you. And it's like, dude,
wow.
You've been away from the symbiote for like half a minute, and you're already talking about like drinking blood and killing people.
Yeah, but they're symbiotes. They're not people.
No, well, there are people inside of them, and that's the whole dilemma.
Yeah, but he's not concerned about them. He's more concerned about the suit.
He's concerned about their influence on the world because he's a lethal protector. So,
and they're not. They're just
originally
assholes.
They were tools of the Life Foundation. They originally signed up to be hosts for these symbiotes because they thought they were sold a bill of goods. They thought they were going to be kind of like special agents.
Yeah, super
Right.
soldiers in a way.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
But they're not. And of course, the Life Foundation was destroyed, and their symbiotes were seemingly destroyed, but it turns out they were fine.
And it also kind of turned them crazy.
Yeah, well, because the
That's not-
symbiotes are talking like in their heads.
Right, they like they do.
Yeah, and they're freaking out, man.
And now there's no one controlling them or watching them. They're just rogue.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they all kind of like, I guess, were part of the same group that signed up for this whole thing. They're staying together kind of like a family. They don't
Right.
really treat each other like a family. They're not like the
They're not
Foot
like
Clan.
I was gonna say the Fast and the Furious.
No, they are not Fast and the Furious. They're not like, we're family. Let's do this. No.
I do like the Foot Clan.
Right.
You call this and
Here,
that over there,
and that down there, family? No.
Some family.
Exactly. So much for family,
So
huh?
much for family.
Anyway, Brock frees himself to kill the symbiotes. They immediately defeat him, and they're like,
Yeah.
it's your lucky day, Brock. Like, we're here to save you. Let's go.
Yeah, we're here to help.
We're gonna put the symbiote back on you, right?
No.
No.
No,
What
they
do they
don't.
want him for then?
Right.
Oh, is he because like he was the father host? Like
they-
all the other symbiotes
Yeah,
like
put a
want to get a
mold into
piece
him.
of him?
The symbiote is, but he's just Eddie Brock. He's not anything.
No.
No, he's the father host.
Well, yeah, but
they don't care about, like,
they
their-
all want
their
to
lit-
merge with him once.
No.
Very incestuous.
Yeah, so they
that
could
would
all
make
become
sense.
one, like a snake den of symbiotes.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah, just-
writhing around
Yeah.
in a pool of their own sin.
Over.
No! Seemingly, Eddie's able to control the symbiote, and they work in tandem. Eddie's not a slave to it.
Right.
Like, they kind of are.
Oh,
and they
what?
assume that the Venom symbiote isn't like whispering in Brock's ear, like, yeah, you gotta eat the brains, you gotta fuck them up. It's just kind of like they're there. And probably had a lot to do with the fact that, like, Peter had the symbiote, or the fact that, like, these symbiotes are babies, technically, because they were only just born.
Right.
But the idea here is that they're afraid of the things the symbiotes are whispering to them, and they want Brock's expertise to help them master their symbiotes.
Oh, I see.
You know what you got to do? You got to hit the gym. You need
That's
to
right.
First, never skip leg day.
That's right. Mhm.
Good cardio routine.
get a whole
Good
bunch of
protein,
steroids.
yes.
A lot of proteins, yeah, and steroids. Tons and
Yeah,
tons
lots
of
of
I
steroids.
gotta
all
tell
the
you,
steroids.
I don't think Brock was juicing. At least not in canon.
At least not at first.
Right. No, I think the idea was, Brock was originally, like, kind of nebbish, and after he had resigned himself to suicide, he was still that physique. Then he meets the symbiote, and after he comes in contact with the symbiote and they come up with their holy purpose to destroy Spider-Man, that's when Brock starts working out, and he becomes like this adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, he almost becomes like Altered Beast level of
Yes.
muscles.
That's right. My assumption is that he just, like, he trades one obsession for another, and that he just, like, the symbiote's like, I'm here, I'm ready to kill Spider-Man whenever you are, and he's like, I'm not ready, and he just, like, works out fanatically because he don't have a job or anything, so he's just working out 24/7. That's where he gets his big build from.
Well, if I knew him in real life
You'd
and he
assume
jacked
he
up
was-
like that, I'd be like, oh, he's juicing.
Absolutely.
No question.
That's
Plus,
fair.
he's freaking out all the time. He's got the roid rage.
He definitely that's just the boat
That's the
rage.
symbiote.
That's right. So the symbiotes abscond with Brock. They take him to an abandoned factory where every supervillain lair is kept.
Right.
And
Like, tell us your secret. How
yeah,
do you do it?
yeah, basically that. And he's like, I don't want to listen to
Yeah,
you.
because I got Venom so under control.
He doesn't say that. Here, you take these.
He's like, why? Why don't I?
No.
He should.
No one acts like a normal person in this
Right.
book, and it's kind of amazing. He's just kind of like, I gotta kill you! Like, they're like,
I
dude,
get why they don't act like normal people.
Right,
yes,
'cause they're-
they
He
have an actual
should.
dilemma.
He has a minute.
And yeah, he's separated
Yeah,
from
but
the
he's
symbiote.
suffering from separation anxiety, so it's screwing up his brain.
No, the symbiote's suffering from separation
they
anxiety.
both are.
Well, they must be, but at no point does Brock indicate, either by caption box or text balloon,
Right.
that he is suffering from that.
In a way, they're
he's
acting
just losing it.
They're acting more rational than he is.
Yeah.
They're like,
Well,
you
they at
have
least
to
have a
help us. We're having
plan.
this problem.
Well, they have a plan. He acts like that, and it's great because occasionally they'll be like, "Screw this! We just gotta kill him. We just gotta fucking kill him." And it's like now suddenly, for like an instant, they act like he is all the time. It's like, dude. But yeah, no, they're like, here's our dilemma. We have these symbiotes. We were sold a bill of goods. We were told we're going to use these symbiotes for good. The symbiotes are freaking out in our heads, and we can't control them, and we're afraid of them. and they're afraid of like separating from them and just letting them run amok because like they have them under control, at least to the point where they can actually like form an awesome looking carnage variant.
What if one of them merges with the serial killer and becomes like Carnage?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, here's the problem: is the fact that you can't show fear in that kind of situation.
Right, because then it's like, oh, I'll take over. I know you're weak. No, I don't know what their plan is, but they're just like, listen, we know you have been like really, really effective with the symbiote to make Venom. Tell us everything you know. And at no point is he like, okay, here's what I've learned. He is constantly screaming and jumping and punching
and pooping everywhere.
Yeah, just trying to kill them.
Yeah.
Now, Scream, the most iconic of the symbiotes.
Does it have any kind of connection with the fact that, like, look, the symbiote hates Spider-Man,
No.
and I hate Peter Parker, so we have, like, a bond through
Right.
that.
Well, you have to have mutual
shared
interest.
goals, yeah.
Like any good relationship, you have to have a foundation of mutual interest.
Yeah.
We
No!
hate the same person.
He does
And
not.
you know what it is? We're both willing to make compromises and meet in the middle,
That's
and that's
right.
how it works.
That's how any good relationship can work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But that's how the Carnage symbiote and Cletus Cassidy work so well.
Shared interest.
Shared.
See,
interest.
now I always took it as the symbiote takes on
The attributes.
some of the attributes of the person.
Right.
And that's why it's not that a serial killer symbiote merges with a serial killer. It's that a symbiote goes on a serial killer and then is like, oh, this is what I do? Oh, okay, I'll just do it like more.
Yes.
I mean,
it helps the host.
That is kind of what happened when Spider-Man first had it. It's the symbiote wanted to keep going out and protecting people. So
Yeah.
even when he's asleep, it's just like, all right, it's time to fight crime.
Hell, even from the inception, when the symbiote first goes on Spider-Man, it forms a Spider-Man costume.
Right.
It helps him carry out what he wants. Oh, you need a new costume. Well, here I am.
Yeah.
When Brock gets it, it's just, well, the costume's just so popular, we're going to have Brock keep the
Yeah,
costume.
it doesn't really make any sense.
Well, it does have the singular focus of it being Spider-Man. You know,
Well,
like-
it already was on Spider-Man. It's not a new symbiote. So he's like,
Yeah.
I have already made an identity for myself.
Exactly. I'm
Right.
not
You
gonna-
want to join me, Brock? You can join this.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we'll rebrand the name, but we're not changing the look. All right.
You can have a giant tongue and
We'll
teeth.
take them out. See, so again, mutual interests
Right.
and compromise.
Right.
But anyway, Brock just keeps screaming at them. And speaking of Scream, Donna, the one of the female symbiotes, not to be confused with Agony, the purple one, who dies first in this story. Donna Scream, I don't think she actually identifies as Scream. She was also in the Ben Reilly versus Venom story.
Oh.
But she's here now, and she's got a totally different purpose, and she's like kind of like the de facto leader, even though at one point she points to like, I think it's Phage, and like Phage is their leader, and like Phage is freaking out. She's like, "No, but you've always been like our leader," and I'm like, "You're the leader. You're the one who's constantly talking to Brock."
Yeah, but maybe Phage was like technically higher ranking.
Yeah,
right,
but
in the Life Foundation.
Military.
I was going to say, maybe the readers of the comic books were not comfortable with a woman being the leader.
Right, a woman in our symbiote gang? I think not.
Maybe it's like a commentary on how, like, well, just because someone is the leader doesn't necessarily mean that they are the person who should be the leader. Like,
Yes.
really, what we're saying here is, like, she should be the leader because she's taking on the attributes of one. But she recognizes that, like, on paper,
Yeah.
like, he's the leader.
Right.
He's still the ranking official.
There's no subtext in the story.
Right.
But I should point out that also there's a character that was invented during the Clone Saga who worked for the Daily Bugle. He's kind of like a new upstart, go-getting, Ned Leeds-esque reporter, and he's interested in finding out everything there is to know about Brock and Venom because they're very popular, and that will help his brand.
Okay.
And he impersonates medical staff for the foundation that's investigating Brock and the symbiote, and he breaks into the facility. He's found out, and then during the scuffle that gets Brock out there, they also take him with them, and so he's a hostage.
Oh.
Okay.
His story is wholly irrelevant.
I was
The only
gonna say,
thing
that
about
sounds
it,
completely unrelated to what's happening.
it's virtually unrelated. The only thing is he's physically with them, and he's there to go like, what?
Well, the Daily Bugle still has to have some kind of connection with the
Yeah,
story,
we gotta
I
have some kind of
guess.
spider connection. Well, because it starts in Spider-Man with Scarlet Spider. it then carries over into Venom's separation anxiety, and then immediately goes back to Spider-Man for Planet of the Symbiotes.
Okay.
This is like chapter 2 of a 3-part epic about symbiotes. Anyway, so he's there too. He doesn't matter. He's there to like bounce thoughts off of, but like everyone else just monologues at each other anyway because it's a Howard Mackie book. So he's really unnecessary. The symbiote frees itself because it just desperately wants to be with Brock again.
Oh.
Wait,
So it just tries hard enough to get out.
Yes.
So the
Gets out.
symbiotes released Brock.
Not
Yes,
the symbiote.
the 5 symbiotes took Brock.
Because they
not
want to
the
talk to
symbiote.
him about how he controls the symbiote. If they
Yes.
release the symbiote to go on him, then he'd just freak out.
He'll just venom it up.
Yeah.
We don't really need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's just it, is that Venom works.
right. Shouldn't Venom be as cogent as they need him to be? Since they're banking on his ability to control the symbiote?
Yeah. Well.
But we need the story to have this element, this B-plot, if you will, of the symbiote trying to get back to Brock.
Okay.
So, and that's the symbiote. It's just constantly consumed with getting back to Eddie. Eddie's my host. I like Eddie. It thinks about like that doctor and Peter Parker, but it wants Eddie back.
Right.
It hides among the Boba Fett mercenaries,
Mm-hmm.
and like so as they track Eddie, it's like, I'm coming. Like, let's go. It's always hiding like on them or in one of their computers or whatever. It's like,
Right.
let's go. So every time that like we check in with Brock, we also have to do a cutaway to what the symbiote's doing. And so like dumb
Every time the symbiote's not
on panel,
on panel, someone should be checking in and
asking where the
it
symbiote is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctor is thought ill. They load him up into a medical, hovercraft, and then it turns out the symbiote like jumped onto him and pretended to be like it shallowed the life signs of the doctor, so they thought he was dying. So when they brought him on the ship and they went airborne, the symbiote like just jumped off of him and then like raised hell and killed everybody and like kept going.
Right. So it doesn't really need a host.
Clearly not.
Well,
It's pretty
hang on.
effective just by itself.
Yes.
It might eventually die without the host.
That's the thing, is
Maybe
later
it
they'll
will.
establish that like it feeds off of the adrenaline of
Right.
humans or organic beings.
Right.
But right now it's
When
just
you-
a costume.
When you
that's
call
alive.
it the thing it goes on a host, like that implies it's like getting something
parasitic
off
of
of
some
it.
kind.
Yeah, so like then they had to explain that.
Well,
I
and why do
guess.
you call it like a symbiote? Like you're both
Right.
getting something?
Shut
I
up.
guess Eddie gets like power.
Yeah, technically there are powers, but that's really the suit.
Uh,
Suit has the exact same powers that Eddie would get.
Eddie gets an excuse for doing bad things.
Right. Eddie gets to
Right.
justify his
Murder.
psychosis. Yeah. The symbiotes literally just like yell at Brock to help them, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna kill all of you." And then
You're too dangerous to
And-
be kept alive.
yes, and Phage is like, "Well, the baby will just kill you," and he's like, "No, I'm Carl, damn it! I'm gonna keep it together." And so
Okay.
they keep it together for like a minute.
Yeah.
And Brock's like, "Bravo, Carl, you've done it. You've mastered the symbiote for another day. But what about tomorrow?" It's like, that's why you're here, dude.
Yeah, just help them.
Just charge them a fee.
yeah.
to be a
why,
console.
Why are you refusing to do this thing?
Right.
You want them to not like go crazy and kill people, right?
Yeah.
Maybe teach them how to control
Right.
the symbiote.
And he keeps like focusing on the fact that they're evil and they need to die, and it's like, why?
Why are you evil?
Right?
yeah, what?
And like,
Do you see yourself that way?
and by the way, that's actually like a logical conclusion you might want to draw. You know, I'm separated from the symbiote. I have a minute to think. No, I'm fucked up. Also, so's the symbiote. And they extracted it from it. Maybe it made me crazy. Well, anything that's an offspring of that. I mean, the first one was Carnage. See how well that turned out. So obviously they are evil, right? Especially because Eddie was super Catholic. Maybe he thinks it's like a demon or something. Like
Right.
he can make any kind of extrapolations. And Mackie's no stranger to making those kinds of assumptions himself. He wrote Ghost Rider. So no. No one makes those assumptions. Nobody does that.
They just don't talk about it.
You're the bad guys of the book. I
Right.
have to kill you because I'm a lethal protector.
Everyone's reasons are paper thin.
Yes.
Right. Well, we don't have time for that. We got to draw all these cool friggin' symbiote manipulations and writhing and teeth.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not
Just-
buying this book to, have an insight into the human psyche and understand good and evil.
No. I mean, you
Definitely
could.
not.
We're extrapolating some very interesting things from separation anxiety that no one has thought about. So the symbiote is now chasing after Brock. Brock indicates to the reporter that he can feel the other coming.
Right.
Brock refers to his symbiote as his other.
The other, yeah.
Okay.
My
'Cause,
other is coming.
together they're Venom.
Yes,
But
Right.
he's Eddie, and it's the other.
the other, or the symbiote. Back when there was only one or two, it was easy to differentiate.
Right, now you can't
there's
say
at least
that.
7.
Doesn't mean anything. Is he hoping it gets back to him? Is he afraid that it'll get back to him?
No.
Or he's just like, it is.
He feels it the way Picard feels the Borg in First Contact.
Right.
Okay, like they're so ingrained in me.
Like
I
I
can
have.
feel
like
Is
a
he looking
radar.
forward to it succeeding?
His mouth snarls into a macabre, smiling grimace.
Okay.
So my assumption is that
like,
he is
"Oh,
delighted
it's
by
coming.
it.
You're all gonna be screwed.
Yeah.
Then I'll be able to kill you.
Right.
Like you all deserve.
And like you
Yeah.
literally spent the beginning of the book with this introspection of, oh my god, what beast is man? No.
No, I broke out of my bonds, and now I'm free to.
Now
Well, these
Yeah.
assholes captured me, and so okay, yeah, no, I'm just gonna kill.
Right. They captured me and asked me for my expert
help.
opinion.
They freed me
Freed
from
me.
captivity, but all they want in exchange is for me to help them control the demon within.
Yep.
And I'm just like,
And for that they
no.
must die.
I enjoy the fact that the symbiote is bonding with other people.
Yes.
Or maybe
It's
not
not
bonding.
bonding.
It's
Well,
using
It's,
other people.
it's straight up
It is
using
just
them.
using them,
There's
yeah.
a trucker. He's on his way towards where Eddie is, because the
Yeah.
symbiote can also feel Brock, and it, so
Sure.
it like uses like
That's convenient.
Oh yes, very convenient. Needs to be.
Needs to
For
happen.
whatever reason, in like the mid to late '90s, that was a very tried and true trope.
Right.
Was if something was in close proximity with another thing for long enough, one or
Develop a
both of those
psychic
things have
link.
psychic links.
Yeah.
But there's a trucker who's on his way over there. He is accosted by ne'er-do-wells. The symbiote goes on to him, becomes Venom, and makes quick work of them, and says, like, this guy's too afraid. He's too meek. He's too timid. He's not Eddie.
Right.
It's not good enough. Gotta go.
Right.
Now-
I'll kill these hoodlums, but
Yeah.
I'm still
Exactly.
gonna go find Eddie.
We also find out he has a neat new power where he can eat fired bullets out of a gun and then spit them back at his assailant at a velocity like unto the bullets themselves and blow someone away.
He's the mask?
Why not?
Sure.
He's smoking.
All right, the only excuse I will give this is that they're all pointed out, so maybe his teeth hit the the firing cap
Right,
in the
before
bottom of the
they
bullet,
exploded.
and they just fire outwards.
Oh, I see.
Well, but
He's
they
like
were
setting
already
them off.
fired, right?
But they were already fired.
Yeah, so they shouldn't even be in their casing.
No.
So they're
Wait,
drawn
this is a
incorrectly.
shotgun. Why are there bullets like
The
there were
artist doesn't
rifle
know how
bullets?
guns work.
Yes. But a shotgun is a totally baller weapon, and I know I've seen like the aftermath of a shotgun, so I assume it shoots like 17 bullets.
Yeah, and it shoots them with the casing still wrapped around them.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that's
I've
when
seen
you
that's
shoot a
what bullets
bullet.
look
It's
like.
the whole thing.
The
Yeah,
whole
it goes.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a torpedo.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fantastical world with lots of colorful creatures.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, this is a. I'm sure that there's no actual shotgun that looks like that. So actually, this is something
Science
totally
fiction.
different that you've never seen before, and it does look like that, and the bullets do look like that.
Yeah.
I want to say that there is a meeting where all of the where all the writers and artists get together, and there's like, look,
These are guns.
these are the rules for the symbiote. This is what it can
Oh, I
do, and this
see.
is what it can't do. And then someone's just like, all right, and they fire bullets, and the bullets go into the suit, and he can fire them back. And everyone's just like, yeah, that's how bullets work, I think.
Yeah, I like
I
that.
don't even
Sure.
know.
You know, who
Yeah,
cares? It's
whatever.
just cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like, they all have, like, this meeting where they're like, okay, let's
Yeah.
go over this once again. These are guns.
This is a bullet.
This is how they work.
We have examples. They're real.
Yeah.
They've been around for a long time.
People are gonna notice if you get this wrong.
Especially kids who are reading this. Because it's not like they don't watch movies.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, not like movies are really shining examples of like realistic gun violence. But
Right.
anyway, so Leslie, aka Agony, she's introspectively looking in the mirror of this,
We don't
of
get to
this
see her
warehouse.
too often.
No, we don't, and we
Yeah.
won't ever again because she's stabbed in the back by a sonic knife, and so she's dead.
A sonic knife?
Yeah, that's right.
Why not just a regular
It
knife?
looks like just a regular hunting knife, but it's a sonic knife. That way it could pierce the hide
Oh.
of a symbiote.
But she doesn't have
And
the symbiote
hurt
on
it?
when she gets stabbed, does she?
Well, the symbiote is like part of her. It's simulating her clothes. So I assume if you
Oh,
stab her
okay.
shirt, it stabs the symbiote. Whatever.
Right. If it was a regular knife, the symbiote, even though you
Could
can't
have
see
stopped
it on her, it would have been like, nope.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but so
Okay.
it's a sonic.
A sonic weapon only works when it's on.
Right. Well, this is always on.
This
So
knife's
this
always
is-
on. It never turns
Right,
off.
but this is like when they fire sonics to keep the symbiote like on lockdown.
Right,
It has
yeah.
to be on.
Yes.
And continue to be firing.
Until they have them in like a containment vessel. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but this
once
is a
you
sonic
stab
knife.
it and you pull it out,
Yeah.
the sonic part is over.
Right. But,
Yeah,
so is their life.
Yeah, but
Because it's pierced them.
yeah, don't forget this is a knife. It works different than like a sonic gun.
Right. Even though a gun is more powerful than a knife,
Well, this is a sonic knife.
it's a sonic knife.
I guess it's like if you shot someone with a sonic weapon so that it like pushes the symbiote away and then shot them with a regular gun,
Then you kill them.
then you'd kill the person.
But not the
Right,
symbiote.
but the symbiote would repair the
that's
person and
Oh, can it?
Sometimes it
oh,
can, and sometimes
no,
it
these
can't.
all have healing factors.
I mean,
Doesn't it more like block
it blocks
things that come in?
It doesn't normally heal them,
Yeah.
but sometimes it does.
Exactly.
So anyway,
All right. Anyway,
listen,
it works and
for
it's
the
dead.
whodunit mystery of separation
Look,
anxiety.
the word
it-
sonic is poison
Yes.
in this instance.
Yeah.
Yes. It looks like a regular knife, but later when they establish it's a sonic knife, you will see they like put a little aura around the knife because the jig is up and we don't need to hide the fact that it's a sonic knife.
Right.
Anyway, so she's stabbed to death. So exeunt agony from the book. Unfortunately, because Leslie was a really cool, rich character that had a lot to contribute to the story.
Yeah, I remember before when she. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is the one place where she talks and has a little monologue. And
That's
you find
right.
out about her, and then she's dead.
So Brock and the reporter freed themselves from the abandoned warehouse to go get help.
Okay.
Well, the reporter wants to get help or interview Brock. There's a scene where he like they're literally
We're free. Now let's get that interview in.
literally no. It happens when they're actually in in jail. What happens is they beg Brock for help. Brock makes fun of them, and then they're like, put him in the jail with the other one, and they throw him in like a room because they're in a friggin' factory.
Right.
And so they're sitting there, and then the guy's just like, so okay. Where'd you get the symbiote? How long have you had it?
Yeah.
Why'd you pick Venom? Why is that the name? Blah, 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 blah. And Brock's like, I'm gonna freaking kill you! And he's like, oh shit. I didn't realize that interviewing Brock was gonna be hazardous to my health. So anyway, Phage is gonna check on Brock and the reporter. He finds out they're gone. The two of them are running through the streets, but it's a pretty messed up neighborhood because it's in the Marvel Universe. Brock is, of course, like a juiced up crazy person, so he is outpacing the reporter by like a country mile. Dude's like, Brock, wait, why am I chasing Brock? Well, why am I in the story?
I'm free.
Yeah, I can go anywhere I want.
I can go home.
Right. I'm not a criminal, so I can just go to a police station and be like, help me.
Yes.
Yeah, I was kidnapped.
Yeah, literally that. So he's contemplating his dilemma when he is accosted by more ne'er-do-wells. Here comes a gang.
Oh, you're in the
Oh,
rough
man.
part of town now.
You're in the rough part of town. They're gonna kick his ass, and then Brock shows up, kicks their ass.
Oh, man.
Oh, is that the sonic knife? Because it's got a little bit of a glint on
No,
it.
that's just a menacing
it's just
sheen.
A regular knife.
Oh, I can't trust anything anymore.
So Brock's kicking their ass, and then one of them pulls out a gun and shoots
Oh.
Brock in the arm. Oh no, Brock is human after all.
Yeah.
Ellis, the reporter, hits one of the last remaining bad guys in the head with a trash can, a la Maximum Carnage, the video game, or what would come to follow, the Separation Anxiety video game for the Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo.
Separation anxiety video game?
They did indeed. It's literally just a Maximum Carnage clone.
Yeah, but you're fighting the different symbiotes, I take it.
Yes.
Yep,
And you
there's
can choose
different colored.
between Spider-Man or Venom to play as.
Sweet.
So 4 out of 5 symbiotes are like, oh no, Agony's dead. Well, we know
Even though there's no blood.
even though there's no blood, but there was earlier in Shadow. And
Where'd the symbiote go?
I assume it's still part of her
Shriveled
because
up
it's her
or
clothes,
Whatever, yeah.
but it's dead too. Don't worry about it. So they're like, obviously Brock killed her because he was
Right.
screaming bloody murder about committing
I
bloody
mean, that
murder.
is-
Hey,
that is a
that
rational
tracks.
assumption.
It does
I
track.
get that.
Yeah.
So he's like, we got to kill him. So, by the way, the cadre of soldiers or mercenaries who are working for the new organization that is government funded that originally captured Brock and the symbiote in the first place
Oh, yeah.
are tracking Brock and the symbiote and chasing after them.
How were there any of them left? Weren't they all murdered by...
Just one group. That was the medical team.
Oh.
Thank God they're all wearing armbands and leg bands and pouches and such.
Yeah.
Everyone
they're
does.
well
That's
equipped.
a standard issue uniform for anyone who works in any kind of authority in the Marvel Universe at this time.
In the 1990s, yeah.
So this mercenary team investigates the crime scene of the trucker. Like, the symbiote was here.
Right.
And then they fly off to go chase after Brock, and the symbiote is, of course, on board their craft now, and he's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, but it doesn't
go.
aliens them.
No, it does not aliens.
Was that the symbiote's plan to like cause a crime and then hide there and wait for these guys to show up?
He is a mastermind.
And the symbiote sensed him and tried to get close to him, but then stopped after it accosted this trucker and just waited.
That's right.
For some reason.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Brock and Ellis break into another abandoned location to rest. Brock passes out from loss of blood. The symbiotes, just take to the streets.
They're just looking around.
Just looking with their eyes.
Right.
They find the defeated gang members that
like he was
Brock
here.
beat up.
Yeah.
And they're like, we gotta get Brock! We gotta figure out how to calm the demons inside of us! Don't kill him, let's go!
Right. No,
Even
we
though
have
he
to
killed one
kill
of
him.
us.
Yep.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
So
whether we kill him or
they
not.
immediately find the abandoned location where
What?
Ellis and Brock are.
Oh.
I don't
smell
recall
him.
if they smell him or if they just follow the blood trail.
Oh, it could be the blood trail.
Brock was shot in the vicinity of those guys.
I guess
they
he doesn't
couldn't
make
have gotten
it that
very
far. Yeah, so they just search buildings until they find him.
Exactly.
All right.
So they break in, they fan out, they search for him. Phage is like just tearing shit up because he's losing it more and more. And then, of course, he is stabbed by a sonic knife.
By another.
So there's somebody else there.
Yes, and it's red.
Right.
Oh,
So it's Daredevil.
symbiotes. Daredevil is like, that's enough of this. This is stupid. I hate all of this. Please end this. No, I guess we're supposed to think it's Carnage. But anyway, sonic knife, red hand,
Yeah,
killing
because
Phage.
Carnage uses sonic knives a lot.
Carnage does use edged weapons.
Oh.
But they
Well,
actually
they're
made
They
part
them.
of
come from
him.
his hand. They're not like shaped like real
And
knives.
they're not Sonic.
I know.
They're not Sonic. Yeah.
Anyway, so Phage, he's
All right,
stabbed.
so now he's dying.
He's stabbed in the back. He stumbles to Brock. He's like, "How did you kill me from across the room?"
Oh my god.
And then
Jesus Christ, Phage, it wasn't me.
so he dies in Brock's arms. Brock discovers the sonic knife plunged in his back, grabs the handle as the remaining symbiotes
Right,
discover
they're
him, and
like,
they're like, you killed
no.
Carl!
I knew it.
Not
jeez.
Carl!
And he's like, oh shit, my fingerprints are on it too. This is not gonna look good in court.
No, it's not, but he was already arrested, so, he's not doing well.
Well, don't worry. Now I have this sonic blade to kill all the rest of you symbiotes like I wanted to do in the first place.
More or less. I love it because he takes the blade and he's like, Donna, I know you won't believe me, but listen, there's someone else and they're murdering the symbiotes. He goes, I don't believe you!
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
knew
fair.
You were going to fuck.
Yep. So she's going to strangle him to death, and that's when Lasher stops her. He's like, hey, come on, don't be him.
Right.
Don't sink to his level.
Don't sink to his level. And also, we still need him to calm the beast inside.
That's right.
Even though he's a murderer.
Yeah,
so he's
so
probably not going to do that.
He explains that he didn't murder them.
Not only that,
They
but
kick him in the face.
they haven't killed him yet. Maybe they're already conquering the beasts inside.
Oh.
No.
Maybe the beast inside was conquered all along.
It wasn't. So Ellis is like running through the streets, just desperately trying to get away from the madness that he asked for.
Right.
When he is almost abducted by aliens, because like a spotlight comes up from the sky, and he's like, "What's going on?" It's the mercenary ship. They finally.
Those ships look terrible.
Oh, I know. So the last horse crosses the finish line. They stop Ellis. Like, listen. I'm just a journalist for the Daily Bugle. And like, yeah, we know who you are. You broke into our facility. You're under arrest. You're going to jail. And he's like, wait. You know about the other symbiotes, right? And they're like, what? So Ellis parlays what he knows and where he's been for his freedom.
Okay.
So he goes with the mercenaries. The mercenaries are now tracking Brock.
Oh, he tags along with them?
Oh, yeah. And the symbiote is like, oh, they're talking about Brock. That's where I want to be. So then he slithers off to go look for Brock.
That image of it is so fucking comical.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the mouth.
Yeah.
So the symbiotes string up Brock. They waterboard him.
They just throw water in his face.
Yeah.
They leave the sonic knife nearby on the floor, even though it's the one thing that can literally kill any of them.
Right.
And he's just like, just kill me and get it over with. And they're like, don't you get it, Brock? We don't want to kill you. Every single issue.
They have to scream that
They're like, Brock, help us. He's like, I'll kill you. They're like, no.
Please don't. We just want help.
grief.
Like, we don't want to stop. We just want to understand these things and get to and work with them. Please help us. And finally, in the last issue, maybe it's just repetition, but they finally get through to Brock, and he's
like,
just
what?
and he's,
You want to control it?
right. Oh, and it's here where I'm like, maybe Eddie Brock just has a horribly debilitating learning disability.
Yeah, no, I don't
can't.
listen. It doesn't get
Process,
through.
Yeah. That's why he constantly repeats his origins. We were innocent once until that accursed Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah.
we all know the monologue by now, and it's because he just can't. He has to repeat it over and over.
The
again.
seventh time, he's just like, okay, no, now I get it.
That's why I'm Venom. So anyway, as Brock is being reasoned with, Scream uses her symbiotic tendrils to go get the sonic knife. Oh, what's Scream doing with that knife? The mercenaries.
Scream the murderer?
Is she? It's a red hand with a sonic knife.
Was she jealous of?
Yeah, I don't know. Of age and his status among the group.
Apparent leadership status that she bestowed upon him.
Yeah, she was jealous of Leslie. You're a sexier symbiote than me. Kill.
I always wanted purple.
Carl, you're in charge. Kill. Now I got Riot and Lasher. Now I'm undisputedly the coolest symbiote. Anyway, so the mercenaries have surrounded the building. The Venom symbiote's there too. He's like, yeah, let's do this.
What are you gonna do, Venom symbiote?
And so Brock is like, okay, like I'll do what I can to help you. And so Lasher's like, cool, okay, we'll let you down. And so as Lasher is freeing Brock, Scream's like, no, he's gotta die! They've all gotta die! And Riot's like, yo, you are freaking out right now. Yeah. And she's like, no, I know what's going on here. The symbiote's been talking to me ever since it first attached to me. And it's been telling me what we're all about. We're all evil and we all have to die. And she plunges the knife into Riot's chest, killing Riot.
Oh my God.
And she's like, come on.
Wait, so this is not Scream.
It is Scream.
It's Scream that's doing it, but it's more
Donna.
the person inside of her, Donna, being
Yes.
like, no, these things are evil and they have to die.
Well, yes, and Scream kind of like indicated, or the symbiote indicated to Donna what the true meaning of the symbiotes are. Which
Right.
isn't true. And
Which is a lie because
Right.
it's not the original one. It doesn't
nope,
know this shit.
It doesn't know.
Yeah,
It's an infant. It has no idea.
Right. It brainwashed itself into thinking that symbiotes are evil and
Yeah.
only interested in
Yeah.
killing.
For no good reason, the symbiote that is attached to Donna is like feeding her really, really weird cryptic information about like their origins and about like the truth behind symbiotes and how they're like
And not
they're
only
true
that-
evil spirits that
Right.
need to be killed.
The most confusing thing is the fact that the symbiote's just like, hey, I'm whispering you gotta do evil things. And,
Yeah.
oh man, I think I might be evil too. And oh man,
They should
oh
all
God,
die.
we're all evil. Oh no,
think you
the
better
symbiotes
kill
are
me.
bad. I'm bad. You gotta kill us all.
Yeah, like what?
What the fuck conversation are you having?
Now, I really like the idea that like the symbiotes are kind of like blank slates, and they always were. This is not true, by the way. Thanks to Null, the god of the symbiotes, and where they all come from. But like the original before that, I like the idea that like they were kind of blank slates, and like humans are just like a rat's nest of psychodrama, and like if you like get this thing and it gets in your head, it will like go insane.
Right.
Like that Peter
but
Parker's
the
like
insane that you are.
right.
Yeah,
so like Peter Parker's like
hyper-insane
desperate,
version of you.
weird, obsessive, like guilt complex imprints onto the symbiote, and then goes to Venom, like so that it becomes this kind of like I have to protect. Like I'm compelled to become an anti-hero despite the fact that I'm like this jilted lover, and like because Brock's obsessive and insane. And it just gets more and more gross. Like it's like silly putty that you've had for years. Like it goes from pink to like just this brown. But anyway,
Hair in it.
So by that logic, like this is some part of Donna's personality.
it's just nuts.
is
like,
that
maybe
well, it's
she's
a little
like,
bto nuts, but it's also like we have to stop.
Yes, we have to
this
stop
evil.
this. Yeah.
Maybe
So
she's like deeply religious or something.
right, yeah. So she kills Lasher practically off panel, and she's gonna go kill Brock. The symbiote's like, oh no!
Does she explain where she got the sonic knife?
It doesn't really come up. So she goes to kill Brock, and the symbiote's like, oh no! It jumps onto Brock.
Right.
They become Venom. It's like literally a recreation of the front cover.
Oh my God.
And now, after 4 issues,
You finally get Venom.
Venom
back.
is in it.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, we're whole. We are Venom. And so Venom like makes quick work of Scream,
Yeah.
who I don't think is ever referred to as Scream throughout the series. But she like punches the crap out of her. The mercenaries descend. They're gonna go take him down. He mimics the camouflage of nothing, like air. So he becomes invisible, basically.
Okay.
And they're like, where'd he go? Like they were literally shooting at him. He turns visible, like, where'd he go? And it's like, maybe just shoot in front of you
Yeah,
for like
maybe
just a second.
maybe-
Just keep shooting. Like,
Well, but the guns aren't going to work on it anyway, right?
No, we've got sonic bullets. It's fine.
Oh.
nope. So he swings away, and there is a recon merc on the roof. Venom punches him, but doesn't murder him. And he says, we didn't kill him. Maybe we're not all bad. So Brock learns a lesson about, like, maybe we're not psycho killers after all.
Yeah, maybe the next time you run into the rest of the symbiotes, you don't have to murder them all or scream how you're going to murder them all, even though you're not actually murdering
Or
them.
maybe just don't
Right.
eat brains.
How did he learn that lesson? He literally just had an experience where one of the symbiotes was a crazy murderer.
Yeah.
And from that he learns, I don't have to murder people.
Yeah.
What?
Well, because that's the dilemma he had at the beginning of the story. You know, he's like, am I a murderer or is the symbiote making me a murderer?
Right.
Well, it turns out me with the symbiote, we're not de facto psycho killers. Like, we can work in tandem, maybe.
Right.
So they break out the containment tubes. Later, they're gonna merge all the symbiotes into one.
Oh.
Like a super symbiote, kind of like a super scroll.
More just a new symbiote. But they didn't want to, like, make another one. So they're just like, we'll just squeeze the ones we're not going to use anymore into one character.
Yeah, just blend them all.
What did they do with Donna? Did she just go in one of the...
She goes in one of the tubes and they
In
take her
one of the
away.
tubes, okay.
She's under arrest or
Yeah,
whatever.
but she didn't work out as much as Brock did, so she can't break herself
That's
out.
right, that's right.
So she's the only human who survives?
That's right.
Of the 4,
Yes.
5?
That's right.
Yeah.
Of the 5, she is the last.
Yeah, because she wasn't stabbed with a sonic knife. She was
No.
just beaten up by Venom.
That's
She's-
right.
Punched a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, if you want to know how Ellis turns out, they, like, exchange his information for his freedom and they just let him leave. Oh, and he can't write the story.
Right.
Don't tell anybody about what
anybody
happened.
Or break your thumbs or something.
You'll be arrested.
So Brock was saying, I have to kill all the symbiotes.
Right.
Because you're all terrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Scream does.
Scream does.
Does kill
And
symbiotes.
he's like, I have to kill you.
He doesn't kill her.
No, but he doesn't. He just punches her.
No, he doesn't.
No.
But he does think she's evil and
Yes.
fights her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though she's doing what he wanted to do the entire time, which is kill all the symbiotes.
Yeah.
Right, and she also, like, shows that she's a murderer, and so, like, arguably, like,
He's
he
right.
had no reason to kill her before, but now, like, does.
Yep.
And
But then
doesn't.
And doesn't.
And he's like, I'm a good person.
Yes. That's what being a hypocrite's all about. So then Brock and the symbiote, like, separate for a minute. They're sitting on the roof, and he's like,
How can they do that? They'll die.
well, he's like, get off me. And so the symbiote's like, whoa, what's this? We just got back together, baby. And he's like, listen, I'm glad we're back together, but, like, maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't know. Like, there's been a lot's been going on in my head, and I want to know. When I come to my conclusions about, like, my personal truth, I want to know that they came from me and that they weren't from your corrupting influence. So, like, I got to answer these questions. And so, like, what'll happen is they're going to launch Planet of the Symbiotes where he's talking to the symbiote and he's like, no, I don't want you right now. And the symbiote is so sad that it emits this scream that is heard through the cosmos and reaches the planet of the symbiotes. And it, like, is interpreted by the planet of the symbiotes to be a distress beacon. And it calls all of the symbiotes.
Well, because it is distressed.
Yeah, but it's like they don't know what it's like to be dumped. So they just assume it's gonna die, despite all the other thousands of times that it almost
That's
died.
how much agony I was in when my girlfriend dumped me.
right.
What about all the
emitted
other-
a psychic cry that could be heard across the universe?
Erased all the other incels.
Yeah, what about all the other symbiotes that died? That actually died? What
Yeah,
about
no.
their sonic scream that
they
went
didn't.
out?
They didn't get a chance.
Maybe they just weren't that afraid.
yeah,
They're
you know,
sad.
death is actually, like, better.
Yeah, than having your heart broken.
Yeah.
And by the way, Brock didn't say get away from me forever.
No.
He was just like, I don't want to talk to you right now.
He's just like, maybe we should take a break.
Right.
I know what that means.
But I know what that means.
You're gonna see other symbiotes.
I know there's at least 2. Maybe 5.
What are you gonna have a 3-way with Carnage and Cassidy?
Look, it's just I've only ever
Carnage
been.
is Cassidy.
Yeah, but the symbiote Carnage. and
Oh, I
Cassidy.
see. Oh, I thought you were going to say Scream.
No,
No.
Carnage, Cassidy, and Brock.
And Brock, yeah. Yeah, no.
The thing is, I've only ever been with one symbiote before.
Yeah, and
I
before
feel
I,
like I just
before I permanently
before I
bond with you,
commit
I want to know that this is the one symbiote I want to be with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I gotta sow my wild symbiotes.
Think about
Right.
it. It's healthy, really.
But he did. He had 5 of them. It's healthy, really.
He didn't have them.
No, that was forcibly taken from him.
Yeah.
Should have called it The Rape of Venom, but it's a little aggressive title for 92.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
That would not be appropriate.
So this sucks. And it's collected in a
this
trade.
is incredibly stupid.
Really stupid. But it's collected in trade. You get it in the description below this video. I don't know. Read it, I guess. And I think the trade form is like much longer, so it has the story where Venom fights Ben Reilly,
Sure.
and justifiably becomes, like the true Spider-Man. And I don't know about the Planet of the Symbiotes. I think that has its own trade. And maybe we'll do it one day. I'd like to cover that one because it has all kinds of stuff. It's got Venom. It's got Ben Reilly. It's got Spider-Man. It's got Carnage. And it's got a planet of symbiotes. How could you go wrong?
Yeah, but it doesn't have
planet of
phage
them.
anymore.
No phage.
Man,
I know.
how quickly do they get to Planet of the Symbiotes? Like, how many years has it been? Like 3 since Venom was introduced? Like they're just like, okay, Venom. Okay, Carnage. Carnage is like he's like murdering hundreds of people.
Yep.
Okay, 5 symbiotes.
5 more
now.
symbiotes.
Okay, now planet. The whole planet of symbiotes. Like, Jesus.
Less than a year.
I mean,
think.
they
about
probably
a year,
just
maybe?
said it has to come from somewhere.
Yeah. Well, because they're like, we've never explored that. Like, where do they come from?
You've
And
never
then, like,
explored it. You just got the symbiote thing.
I
Like,
know. No, the
Give it some
symbiote's
room
been
to
around
breathe.
for a
The
while.
symbiote's been around for a while. The Venom symbiote was
Venom
around for a while.
hasn't.
Venom
Yeah.
was around for a while too. Like a good 2 or 3 years before they did Carnage, and then after that a good year or less before they did the 5, and then the same amount of time for the planet.
For the entire planet.
Yeah.
I realized why I grabbed the books at the beginning is because we did the first issue on a GBU.
Yeah, we
Really?
definitely did this as
Yeah.
GBU.
You know what? You're right. We did. We totally did. Yeah. I was trying to remember which one we did. I know we did.
I remember this cover.
Yeah.
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 But
And
it didn't make any sense.
I remember
No.
the things inside, like him being in the facility and
the
Venom
symbiote.
making like the Brock's face
Yeah.
and the doctors
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Now
there's
we
your
know how it
closure.
ends. Yeah.
So it's actually a sequel to our sister show, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So check out that episode and see some initial reactions that are probably very similar to the initial reactions on this episode.
Like stupid Donna trying to seduce the guards and get inside.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really focus on that, but
No, it
it
did
is
happen.
some great TNA in the book. So,
Yeah.
Well,
for
we
that
gotta have
alone,
something.
you can pick that up. Yeah, gotta put that
I
in
feel
there.
like the symbiotes are really just an excuse to draw naked people.
Well,
because
sure.
they are just naked, but then with coloring on them.
Yeah, but if that were the case, it'd be a lot more exploitative. There's only 2 out of 5.
Not only that,
women,
but we
yeah.
have a lot more naked superheroes normally
Oh.
when you just have Venom.
Yeah, that's true. Or when you just draw superheroes because you're literally just drawing naked people with a cape on it.
Yeah, that is
Pretty much.
usually- yeah.
Here's your skin-tight uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, here's some other closure. On the back of this issue is an ad for Lord of Illusions from Clive Barker.
Oh,
We
man.
saw that finally on Pluto TV, and it was exactly as terrible as this ad suggests.
Yeah,
I
that
think
looks
Scott
really
Bakula's in
bad.
this. This movie sucks. Venom's separation anxiety. I guess only the symbiote suffers from it,
Yeah, because it's
I
sad.
guess, yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
Venom kind of does, but maybe he's suffering in a different way.
Yeah. Well,
Because he is experiencing anxiety.
Yeah.
Maybe the 5 symbiotes they're facing anxiety because they want to separate.
It'd be interesting if like each one of them represented like a feeling,
Like an emotion.
like an emotion, or like the stages of from
like grief, yeah.
yeah, but they don't.
No.
Because what the fuck is
Definitely
phage? Or for that matter, Lasher. What kind of emotion?
I don't know
is that?
anything about Lasher or Riot's personality. I know a little bit about Phage.
There's none.
And a little bit about
There is
Donna.
none. One is it's just it's a green Venom,
and a gray one.
and there's Venom again, but with no spider on it, and it's a little more gray. I love how right before they murder him, they try a little bit to change him, and they give him like these underbite, like kind of dragon tusks.
Yeah.
And then they kill him. I'm like, no. It's too little, too late. You can't make Riot not just be another Venom.
Especially when later on you give Venom that same underbite.
Yes. Well, depending on who's drawing him, Venom is
Yeah.
anything. He's all kinds of variants on
Yeah,
a big mouth. I mean,
the
sometimes
great
he's
thing about
Violator,
Venom is you could just make him look like whatever the fuck you want.
and people will just applaud you for drawing something totally dope looking.
Yeah.
You know what? We never get stomach mouth Venom.
We've had stomach mouth Venom, but we have never covered him on this show. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah.
That exists?
Oh sure.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Hell, we got it in a cartoon show. It's a great episode of Spectacular Spider-Man. Spider-Man webs his face, and so his mouth grows out his stomach and just makes fun of him. And he's like, "Oh my god."
No! No!
That's it.
Oh God, I gotta go!
So great. That's best Spider-Man cartoon of all time. And one of the best animated depictions of Venom as well. I'm just saying a lot. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week with another episode of Back Issues. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
So long.